What's good, everybody? So today is March 21st, 2021. We're just going to quickly go over a quick breakdown of my watch list for the upcoming week. So the week of March 22nd to March 26th. Typically for these setups, usually takes a few days for it to get going. So even though we're talking about it today, sometimes it may start to play out this week. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So because we're analyzing mainly on the macro time frame, so which I consider between the 1 and the 4 hour, sometimes it does take several days for it to start moving. Okay, so just disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, so these are just my opinions. Don't go out there and go crazy with actual money. This is just for education purposes, I guess, and for entertainment purposes. And like I said, so macro time frame, so you don't always have to expect these to play out right away. Okay, so this is just SPY, but I use SPX 500 USD on TradingView. And basically, with last week, we saw this ascending channel building, right? And typically there is a great reversal pattern. And I mentioned on my Twitter that we'll most likely see a breakdown under the trend line, a little consolidation, and then continuation down. Let me zooming in. So not really a good close in terms of like for the bullish scenario. I did set out these levels just in case that if price was to drop under 39.15, that these are little support areas that it may bounce off of. So we see price basically reach 38.83. I do expect though that with this type of close, unless it opens up in about an hour or so and then looks bullish in terms of before market open on Monday, we may see a bounce, but I am staying very cautious here. And it's hard to say unless we get closer once live price action is occurring, but we do have to keep in mind that price can continue further down into like the 38.50 before a bigger bounce. What we typically want to see though is if it opens and it gives some sort of action like this, it may possibly head higher. Just keep in mind though that with this trend line here, it can easily just replicate that this ascending channel. So if it does this and then starts to build like this going into the trend line, it can just easily reverse back down and give that bigger drop. So hard to call it here. 50-50 chance of what it does. I do lean more on a bearish scenario as of right now, but I have no issues calling it a bullish reversal if it does happen. But yeah, if you look at my Twitter, we called this move perfectly, so we totally expected this drop to occur. Okay, so that's just looking overall at the SPY. So first on my watch list is Senseonics. This really is just a long-term play for me. I don't expect it to moon overnight or anything like that. I do think overall this company will take I would say 1.5 to 3 years for it to really start getting going. But with COVID-19, it did push the company back a lot, but some catalysts on the way. Hopefully by April 14 or April 15, the FDA starts the process of reviewing their application for the 180-day sensor, and then hopefully by late third quarter or fourth quarter they approve it. And from what it seems like, the company is prepared in terms of like having the units ready to ship out. I think now it's just really advertisement, getting the word out there for the company, their product, I guess mass adoption. But my realistically bearish scenario, I say price target is about $10-ish. But doing the math and comparing it to Dexcom, for example, I can see this company easily hitting possibly around $30 to $40. But yeah, I think the company just has a lot of potential. But you know, this company is very risky, and there's a lot of milestones that they have to hit or exceed. If not, you know, can easily see this company get either bought out or bankrupt too, if things don't fall into their favor. But looking at the charts, basically, I want to see a solid close or pop and close above $3.37. Short-term targets of $3.82 and $4.27. Long-term, you know, depending on the catalyst and how I guess the market perceives it, and you know, if it can really get going, you know, 622, 729, 1049, 1565. But ideally, I think I'm just really focusing. Oh, did I move that? Okay. Ideally, I'm just really focusing on what price would do right here first. You know, if it breaks over 427, depending on how it gets there, I will take another look by then. But yeah, short-term traders, day traders, watch that for that 337. You can scalp it, you know, 40 cents, 50 cents, whatever. Pretty nice play. But you know, long term, been holding it since here. So I just been scaling in, holding it for a long term. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at PLTR Palantir. So, looking at the macro chart, you know, I will say this company or this stock being, I guess, well known, Kathy Woods, etc. Like, it's a hype stock, but at the same time, I think a lot of people are also, they love shorting it too. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of day traders do trade this. Short term, let's go on the 1 hour real quick. Yeah, short term, you know, I had these levels, you know, that it'll hold as it was dropping. $23.95, $23.57, $23, and then $22.30. Ideally, we do, or I want to see, you know, this price action here didn't really show anything, right? Even though it has this big wick, it doesn't have any nice follow through, so I don't think it's done going up yet. I want it to continue going down, make a nice descending channel, and then have a big reversal, right? So that's what I'm ideally looking for. So, you know, you can scale in here if you want a small position, but I really would like it to continue dropping towards the 2230. You know, give us that really nice entry and then continue forward. So let's see what Palantir does in the upcoming week. Okay. Next up on our watch list, GHVI. This is just a SPAC that's merging with Matterport. Easily, you know, SPACs carries their risks. So, you know, just hope that you're aware of that. Just having a super simple trend line. If price breaks, you know, you can just reference, I guess, this level here, which is about 1642. If it breaks above, you know, the trend line, just have these resistances, you know, in your mentally. If it can clear, you know, for sure $17, then you can see 18, 19, 20, 23.87. I personally am not going too large on this just because, you know, I want for sure to see this company merge before. I start heavily investing it into it, just because SPACs have that intrinsic risk with them. But I do think Matterport has a lot of potential in their future. Their technology can be used in a lot of different spaces besides just showing a virtual tour of a real estate property, whatever. So yeah, I would say until they until they finally merge, that is when I'll really consider this company, adding more into my positions. Okay, so next on NIO, NIO, of course. Basically, this was the level here. Between 26 and 30. I was really hoping to see the price drop into there, but it couldn't. And then we have this nice, bounce. You can treat this as a flagpole, and this is the flag that's building. Okay, so easily, if you want to have more confirmation, what you do is you can wait for price to at least break above this level, so about 45.38, and then enter in. But trade it how you want. But if you're looking like a short-term trade, you can easily, or I guess it's a less risky, a later entry, but it's less risky. It reduces your potential ROI, but it's safer in terms of giving you like a bullish confirmation that the move may continue forward. So wait for it to break 45.20-ish. Easily target 48, 46, 50, 57, 53, 13, 60, 52. And also keep in mind, NIO, it's a big cap stock, so it takes a lot for it to get going. So don't expect it to moonshot in one day. It'll take several days sometimes for it to really get to the 53 to 60 range. I typically always target my third channel in terms of like my third price target, but the last price target really is once I take about 3/5 to 4/5 of my positions, I'll hold 1/5 left, let it ride and see how far it gets. But NIO's also one of those companies that has a lot of potential in the future, so with the news that just came out over the weekend about Tesla privacy concerns with their cameras and I guess government workers and whatever in China, we may see it become like a domino effect in terms of affecting Tesla and how China, their relationship between those two in China. So I will say if China starts regulating more in terms of how Tesla is prevalent in their country, NIO, of course, being one of the primary, I guess, EV companies in China and backed by the government, we may see NIO start to rise more just because the shift of, sales from Tesla buyers or potential Tesla buyers to NIO. And of course, NIO also does, they're more of like a lifestyle in terms of like creating communities, clubhouses, whatever they call it. And I also think NIO, being a Chinese company, they understand, their own people more. So, yeah. So, charts, that's the targets. CCIV, I think like this price action that going up was very weak, right? It doesn't look super convincing, but for those who do like Lucid, right, you can expect to see if price breaks this trend line here, can possibly target 33.87, 36, 42, 51. But just keep in mind, if price was more linear and formed this channel, then yes, the the probability of it breaking up higher is more probable. But with it going up not super convincingly strong, a lot weaker in terms of like how the candles look, the launch forward won't be as high, I think. So, realistically, you may just want to target the first and second levels, so between 33 and 36. So we have FSLY, Fastly. This company I really don't know too much about. I just saw a potential with their charts. You see a nice, possibly inverse head and shoulders. It's building a pretty nice consolidation. I just use these two zones because I think these two zones represent like potential resistance points. So you have between 80 to 86, and then you have 92 to 96, right? So if price breaks out of this pattern, and then you also can reference 78 level as a resistance as well. If it breaks those two for sure, then you can easily target a move, going into this, either this or this. So you ladder scale out for that trade. IPOE is another spec that's merging with SoFi, which is I guess financial company. Also with this consolidation, if it breaks this trend line or this pattern, I guess you can say, you can consider this kind of like a bull flag. If it breaks here, you can easily target 2026, 2093, 2184, and $23. Again, with this one, I like it more if it was its own ticker, but since it's merging, it does carry that intrinsic risk. Fubo. Okay, come on. Okay, cool. FUBO. Basically, with this one, so with this one's a little bit more tricky. This top trend line here is a little bit more confirmed, where we have the 1, 2, 3 touch. The bottom one, it's hard to say where this one really is. I treat it like a wedge here, right? And I was saying how this is a bear flag, right? Forming a bear flag to the downside. And then also at the time, this is also looks like a bear flag as well. So two confluences that tells me that I lean bearish more on this one, even though there's a lot of Fubo supporters out there. I totally get it, but at the end of the day, you still have to respect the charts. And if you're bullish on it long term, then take these opportunities to just buy in cheaper, right? So this is just consolidating. So very possible we see more of a down move. I was saying how if this was to reverse, or if price was to reverse here, my bad. It breaks up. Watch how it reacts in this level. Between this zone. Let me make it okay. Yeah, between this zone and then like up here above, where the trend line is. Watch how price reacts there, because if it gets like a Prince of Red candle like this, then you for sure know this bear flag is playing out. But yeah, I still think as of right now that it will drop further. So ideally targeting, I have the 2848 level as a support level, but I'm really targeting 2659, 2471, and $22. Do I think it's going to get that low? I don't know. I don't think so. But we always have to keep our options open. It'll be crazy, and you see here how it's a lot of support. So maybe potentially to some short-term bearishness if the market does continue to drop. Ideally, probably looking for 24 to 26 is my buy zone, right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it with Fubo. MVIS. I think it's just like a LiDAR company. Basically, this is creating a pennant. I really wanted to see this candle here close or be much stronger and close above the previous resistance about 1754. It tapped it and it rejected off of it, so it does show me that the resistance is known to other people in the market. If I do move it up a little bit higher, I guess you can say, then yeah, that's perfect. 1769 is now the resistance. For now, this is the trend line, this is the pattern, but if, let's say, price comes up to here and it falls out, right, this invalidates the pattern. So not a for sure 100% play opportunity, but as of right now, I do think if you were to watch 1769 and played alongside, you can easily take a scalp play, a day trade, or if you want, you're aiming for a little bit higher, then for sure, if it breaks above 1878, you can easily target 2019, 2137, 2283, and 2720. Keep in mind, this company CEO is considering or trying to get another company to buy them out, Apple, Google, whatever. So just keep that in mind. But for now, I really like this as a short-term play. I don't think I'll hold this long-term or anything. Tilray. Unfortunately, even though a lot of people like Tilray, I just don't. As of right now, I don't see much with the price. I can possibly form this as a pennant as well. I'm not fully convinced that this is the full pattern just yet. But I will say, using this as a 1, 2, 3 touch trend line. If it does break up, you can enter in and either take profit at a 29.88, I guess $30 psychological resistance, or take some profit here, let it reject, come down, and then buy it back up. Once it breaks again, you can easily target $34, $34.18, $36.84, $41.11. But like I said, not one of the better quality setups, so I think we just have to stay patient with this one. Go EV is the ticker for Canoe, which is another EV company. Their business model is a little interesting. It's more like a subscription service, but they had a huge bounce once they announced once they revealed their pickup truck that they created. There isn't much details about the pickup truck, but it's very possible that they just sell that outright instead of having it as a subscription service, but we'll see. Basically, this pennant here isn't one of the best ones, but I like it just because it's building on this trend line. So the 1, 2, 3 touch. So let's just having this trend line, if it does break up, you can easily target 1775, 1852, 1950, 2092, 2481. We really don't know where it go, but take profit at every level, right? With the size of this pull, and this consolidation, I'd rather it build more like a actual bear flag, but we can't always be picky. Ideally, I am expecting, if it does have some kind of catalyst, earnings is coming up. I don't think there will be any data for that, but just considering the pull flag, this is mainly where I'm targeting, between $18.50 and $21, right? Okay. CRSP, which is CRISPR, a biogenome company. I think that the technology is great and all the potential for the future in terms of genetics and those genetic disorders and stuff. I think it has a lot of real world case uses. So keeping it simple, if it breaks 133.46, which I deem as the resistance point, if it breaks above there, then yeah, 147.90, 154.26, 173.67 is the target levels. Okay. Beam, also another genetics disorder company. They just do it slightly differently, where CRISPR just do single sequences, whereas Beam can do. Wait, no. No, CRISPR, has to have a sequence, so it's basically like a strand that they cut out and can possibly replace. Beam can go in and replace individually that one ATCG, whatever it's called. So, a lot better in terms of. I think Beam has a lot more potential because it's like it can go in and selectively replace or delete one, whereas CRISPR has to be a sequence. So Beam has a lot of potential as well. I think Beam also has a clearer formation going on right now, so easily I guess you can just use that $99. But if it breaks this pattern easily, 101.89, 106.64, 111.26, 116.71, 124.51. Okay. BNGO, Bio-Nanogenomics. When it comes to this bounce, this is a flag, I guess you can say. I wouldn't really deem it as it's not the best one. But really, the main thing with BNGO, I guess you can say, is I'm just really just eyeing the 957. Around this area, you can move it up and down a little bit, but about 950 is where I'm looking. If price can break through again, I'm just looking for a quick day trade. 1060, 1188. Real bullish case 1740. It looks like earning is coming up, so just be aware. So definitely not the the better quality setups, but just to keep in mind, because some people do like BNGO a lot. NNDM, Nano Dimensions. I like this one as well. Pennant, so that fully formed, I guess, whatever. If price does break above this pattern, 12.47, 13.17, 14.23, $17. Just a quick tip: when it comes to pennants often become different patterns. So in terms of like patterns and stuff, I do rank pennants as like the lowest quality ones, just because it can easily form like a wedge, a flag, channels, whatever. So hard to say right now what this becomes until price continues to develop. But just keeping it in mind, if this does break up, it could play out to the upside. Okay. Next one is Tesla. Over the weekend, ARK Invest released their price upgrade, right? They think this thing is going to the moon. I just had these simple two levels here, 632.82 and 613.76 as retracement points as the market was dropping. Previously, I was eyeing these to hold support. It does have this wick, but if this didn't get created, you have this clear flag here. Okay. But I do expect possibly with the ARK Invest and their price upgrade, you may see a nice little pop. Ideally though, I am looking to see if price can break up above this trend line here. So we have the 1, the 2, and the 3, right? So if price can break up here, you will be getting into it more expensive, but it'll be a more high probable play. If it breaks above this horizontal level, then you see 745.60, 771, 32, 803, 76. In a real bull case, it's $900. So Lululemon, LULU. This is the last ticker on the playlist. Ideally, I would have liked to see this pattern build more, like if it went up here and built that right under the trend line, but this is just what it is presenting. So this is what we'll have to work with. Still, I would say it's still a nice consolidation. Treating this like I could have easily drew it like this, but for now, just because it's under the trend line, I am interested to see if this does break above to the upside. Just keep in mind though, the reason why I don't like it as much is just because if price does break here, it'll trigger you in. It could easily reject off of this trend line and head lower. So, but ideally, if it does break above, say, I guess here, just watch how this manage it appropriately. Stop losses. Whatever. Easily target 324, 328.90, 336.35, and 344.98. Yeah. So these are the main tickers I have on watch for the upcoming week. I do talk a little fast just because I don't want the video to be too long. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on my Twitter or private message me. Yeah, I mean, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching the video. Feel free to give me a like, subscribe, comment, criticism, whatever. I appreciate all the feedback. Thank you. Have a good one. And good luck this week, guys.